Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yay! I switched mics, so I'm hoping it's good. I don't want to get my shirt away too soon, right? I know because you're all anxiously reading it. You're probably not, but it's okay. I'll sit like this till it's time. How was everybody's 3-day weekend?
Mine was relaxing.
Nice. Did you watch anything good or read a good book or?
I watched this true crime documentary that actually Amanda told me about,
Oh,
and it was
nice.
pretty good. Yeah.
What was the name of it? Do you
It's
remember?
called like Vanishing at I can't remember the hotel name, but it's like Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel.
Oh, all right. My husband and my daughter love true crime. They like
Yeah.
are obsessed with watching it. So
Yeah, Amanda told me about it last week in like our group work, so I had to watch it.
nice. Good morning, everyone.
I found the name of my fish.
Oh, what is it?
It's a Hovini fish, and I went to another pet store, and they told me they actually brought out a huge book about all these fishes, and they helped me pinpoint who he is. So we found out what he is, and he grows up to 3 feet and 5 inches.
What the heck?
Yeah. So I went back over to where I got them, and I
Yeah,
feel like they sell kind of like exotic fishes, but they don't know how big they grow. Because this is not the first time I got a big fish.
oh no.
The other time was I didn't know how expensive to feed the fish. But apparently, the fish that I have now, he eats fruits. And I'm like, so I don't need pellets. They're like, yeah, you can give him pellets to diet, but he actually eats fruits and zucchinis. And I was like, whoa.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So are you gonna have to have him in his own tank, or are you gonna have a tank that's 3 feet? Like that sounds crazy.
Well, I'm gonna keep him in this tank, but they told me that if he gets any bigger, I can bring him in. But I don't know. I'm still waiting to figure that out what I should do with him. I feel like right now he's not aggressive and he's more respectable to the rainbow fishes, and he's the big guy because I took him out from the small fish tank, put him in the large fish tank, and the rainbow fish were like, "Hey, where'd you go?" You know.
Oh,
Same time, um, there's other fishes that ended up popping out that I haven't seen for a while. So maybe I don't know. It's kind of I'm still looking into it. I don't want to give him up right now. Maybe if he gets a little bigger, but I feel like he's comfortable right now because he has all his colors, and that's one of the signs that you know your fishes are happy is when they have all their bright colors. So
okay.
I'm not planning to get rid of him right now. I just don't want to stress him out. I feel like he's still like a baby, even though
Right.
he's a big baby to me.
Yeah.
But I'll look into it a little bit more probably like around April.
Cool. Cool. Thanks for the update. Okay, where's everybody else? Did you tell them all to stay home today? What's happening right now? I'm concerned. We're like missing half our class. Oh, speak of them. Here they come. Okay, so we can share t-shirts and tacos and all of those kind of things. But if you read this quote, I really like this quote. This was Coretta Scott King. Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. I appreciate that. So keep that in mind. I did grade your activity. Did you see those grades? Yeah, so good job. Make sure if I said read those comments, you read those comments. Everybody did pretty well. Some people, some groups forgot to show me their work on the table, which is fine for right now, but on tests, make sure you show me your work, right? So I can see where you might be making a mistake, especially if it's like a rounding issue. Okay. T-shirts or tacos? Anyone want to share anything? Can you screen, by the way? Yes. Okay. I feel like I'm talking to no one. What's happening right now? I mean, Valerie and I were chatting about fish. Olivia and I were chatting about true crime, but what's going on? So, any more info on anything? Okay, I guess you just want to see my t-shirt. Malachi, what's on your shirt?
Just shirt I got when I graduated.
Oh, I can't see it. Let me see the front of it.
Like it's like my school, the like logo, with the mascot, and then it says I was a senior and then the year.
Nice. Did you go to Marcos?
Yeah, I did.
Nice. I love that shirt. That's cool. They're pretty easily identifiable, right?
Yeah.
My kids went to Rover for elementary school, so right down the street from Marcos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Here's mine. I know you're excited. Can't get any worse, right, than they were. Oh, wait, it can. It says there's a fine line between a numerator and a denominator. Only a fraction will understand. Ha 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 ha. That's funny. Okay, I thought it was funny. I know they're getting worse. It's okay. Soon we'll be starting probability after we finish statistics, and we'll use a lot of fractions. So that's why I wore my fraction shirt. Anyone else? T-shirts, tacos, I don't know, tortillas. What else we have that begins with a T? Tomato soup. That sounds yummy. Anyone else like tomato soup? I love tomato soup. Yeah. Okay, it was cloudy until right now. Now it's all sunny. I don't know what that's about. Before I get too crazy, let's talk about your tutoring assignments. Did everybody remember to do all their assignments that were due? I hope. I'm going to pull up your tutoring assignment and share the screen because I'm not sure if you looked at it yet. And I posted all the assignments for the whole week, so you could start on them whenever you want. If it does say we're doing it in class, don't do it on your own because we'll do it in class. You find that tutoring assignment. I probably need to add it to this week's module as well. I just thought of that. All right. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Did anyone do the tutoring assignment yet? Okay, so here's the tutoring assignment info. Some of you are utilizing the tutoring center, some of you are not. You have to visit the tutoring center by, well, I said Wednesday, but then I changed the date until it's due Friday. So this week you have a required assignment to take a question from the homework or something we did in class to the tutoring center and get help on it. So it says you need to fill out this form. So it'll make you make a copy. That's the first thing you need to do. And you can change the name now and whatever you want. So you're going to fill out all of this. Your Math 146, I'm your instructor. You can fill out the date, you put it in. When you check in, put your time in and your time out. This part, the tutor signature, is a little hard since we're online. What you need to do is do a screenshot of your session and just tell your tutor that's what you need to do. They're used to it by now. I do this assignment all the time. Make sure you write down the topic you need help with. So it'll probably be statistics, but it could be very specific. And then make sure you have your notes out and you're ready. Write down the problem and any work you've already tried, and then have a starting question ready. Like if you keep rounding wrong, maybe ask that, or you just are getting the wrong answer. So then when you're finished, you're going to list your takeaway from the tutoring center, what did you learn, and what you should do for more practice. Remember, for this tutoring signature, you might need a screenshot because they won't give you a signature. If you don't have the screenshot, you're not getting credit for the assignment. Okay. So, and you can just put the screenshot in this document as an image. Okay. So then if you go back in here, if you want to just do it all electronically, you totally can. If you want to do it on paper, just put your paper, you know, scan it and put it in there. And that's it. And it's due by this Friday. Okay, questions on that? Everybody understands it? Why am I making you go to the tutoring center? Ideas? Why would I make you do that? No one knows. It's to torture you, right? That's why I'm doing it. Yes, Amanda agrees with me. Perfect. Okay. Why would I send you to the tutoring center? Especially right now in week 5.
Because you want us to know how to access it, and it's probably getting harder in this semester.
Yeah, for sure. I want you to know how to get there before it's a deal breaker that you have to know right then, right? So, because you might have to do some plugins, right? You might have to update some plugins or access your mic and those kind of things. So I don't want the technology to get in the way when you're really struggling with the math, okay? So that's why, and if you're like, I don't have any questions because I know all this math, perfect, just pretend. Take one you already know, right? And take it, so you'll be fine. You can take a problem from a section that's later too, that we haven't covered yet. If you're working ahead, that's totally fine. Okay, so make sure you do all the assignments this week. And did anyone look at my announcements? Yes, Amanda did. Thank goodness. You know, I update those announcements all the time. Amanda's like, am I the only one responding? Yeah, you are, Amanda. Thanks. So make sure you look at your updates and announcements. Yes. And did anyone notice I changed? I don't know if I changed it this week. I better go look. Did I change my virtual classroom? I think I did. I think I updated it to say week. Oh, it still says week 4. That's so depressing. Okay, I have to update that. I'll update it and I'll make sure to remind you of your tutoring assignment. Okay. But the updates are updated. That makes sense. Yeah, it's true. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about describing a distribution. Distributions are described by their socks. Yeah, it's true. Socks. It's an easy way to remember things. So shape, outlier, center, and spread. Those are the socks of a distribution. So we didn't talk about really any of these yet, but we will. Huh? So first of all, types of distributions. You did some of this in your mini lesson already, right? I hope. Yeah, you're like mini lesson. What are you talking about? Yeah, you really had a mini lesson. Hopefully you didn't miss it. A symmetric distribution is a distribution in which the left and right sides are roughly mirror images of each other. In other words, if I took a line and drew it down the middle of this, these two halves would match. Same thing if I have a uniform distribution, those two halves would match. It's different than a skewed distribution. A skewed distribution is asymmetrical. Notice it kind of still looks like the bell shape, but it has this extra little tail, and the tail extends to the right. That means it's right skewed. Okay, that might be counterintuitive for some of you. That took me a long time to get wired in my brain correctly because I see that all the data is on the left, right? So I feel like it's left skewed, but it's not. It's right skewed because it's where the tail goes. And left skewed would be the tail extends to the left. Okay? All right. So you're going to get this ready in the chat. Okay, the answer to this question, part A. So the histogram below shows exam scores for 28 students. Is the distribution symmetric or is it skewed? After you do that, you're going to classify it as bell-shaped, uniform, right skewed, or left skewed. And then we'll talk about what we mean by outliers. Okay, so let's just answer A in the chat. Is it symmetric or skewed? So get your answer ready. Don't hit enter yet. Okay, and 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I think most people are saying it's skewed. So when you were saying it's skewed, you basically said, I couldn't draw a line down the middle of the distribution, which this looks about like the middle, and it be symmetric. So you can try to draw in that bell and see what it looks like, right? That's describing the shape. So in part B, it says, is it bell-shaped, uniform, right skewed, or left skewed? Only bell-shaped if it's uniform, okay? It's bell-shaped or uniform if it's symmetrical. And Amanda already answered it for us. So we're gonna go with that. So does everybody agree with Amanda that it's left skewed? Yeah, it's left skewed because that tail goes to the left. Okay, there seems to be more data over here, or a little trail of data that way. Okay, what do you think the word outlier means? What do you think that means, an outlier? Who is answering? It's like breaking up. Oh, Angelina, I don't know what's going on. Is it breaking up to anyone else? Yeah. Weird. Can you type it in the chat for me? Yeah, it is. It's where you have some data point that's far away from all the other data points, right? Usually it's much, much higher or much, much lower than your data. So for example, if I had someone who didn't take the test, and so their score is a 0, that would be an outlier, right? Nobody else got that low. Okay. Or sometimes, have you ever taken a test that you thought was crazy, crazy hard? And so you talked to a bunch of people in the class and everybody else thought it was crazy, crazy hard. So everybody got an F on it, except for one person. There's always that one person in class that got 100. You're like, seriously? What is happening? So that 100 would be an outlier if all the other scores are much, much further away. Okay. Okay, here's one for you. Get these ready in the chat. So this is a student started an online t-shirt business, the histogram. shows the number of t-shirts sold over a period of 52 weeks. Is it symmetric or skewed? Then is it bell-shaped, uniform, right skewed or left skewed? And then are there any outliers? Why don't you answer all three questions? I'll give you a whole minute to get those ready in the chat. And I want to make sure every single person is answering me. Okay, I feel like you're done. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. I got 5 answers. There's more than 5 of you here. All right, so it is symmetric. It might not be perfect, right? But it says approximately. If you look back at our slides, it's approximately. So it's almost all even. So it's uniform and there's no outliers, right? There's lots of data points in each category. So if you thought it was a little bit skewed, since it's about even on both sides, like you could probably draw your half about right here. Notice that this is a little bit taller on this side, this is a little bit taller on this side, so that makes it about even. These two are a little bit shorter, but not really significantly. If I looked at it, I wouldn't draw a bell shape over this and see that it continues in one direction or another, okay? So those of you that put that it was skewed, do you see how we would call it uniform? Yeah, okay. Try another one. Don't hit enter until I say, give everybody a couple minutes. All right, you ready? Okay, let's do 3, 2, 1, go. I think I'm missing one. All right, so I hope you're doing something like this. You're going, well, if I put a bell shape right here, this is kind of what it looks like. If I leave this guy off at the end, because he seems out of the way, right? So when I just look at this part, it looks pretty symmetric, right? And then, so probably most people said bell shaped. And then they said, this is an outlier. They didn't say right skewed because it's not like I have a bunch of data right here. It's just this one guy way out here. Okay. And did you look at what this graph is about? This is the number of hours exercising per week. So most people exercise anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a week, except for this one person who's exercising like 14 to 16 hours a week. So we don't know anything about who they talk to, right? Like they talk to people at a gym, but we don't know how they chose them. But so this person seems to be an outlier. Okay. Any questions on types of distribution? So remember, first you're going to classify it as symmetric or asymmetric. If it's symmetric, it's going to be uniform or bell shaped. If it's asymmetric, it's going to be right skewed or left skewed. And then if it's an outlier, it's a data point that seems far away from all the other data points. You okay with that? Okay. Does anyone know where our fellow classmates are? Aaron, Ashley, Deshay, Marty, Jenday. Anyone got anything on any of them? It seems extraordinarily high, right? That I'm missing that many. I mean, did they take it like it's spring break already? It's not spring break yet. Not quite yet, right? We have a few more weeks before spring break. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Crazy. We do have spring break though. Nice. You get a whole week off. Yeah, anyone gonna do anything? I know, COVID. Did somebody say COVID? Who knows, right? Yeah, I don't think I'm doing anything. And my spring break doesn't match my kids' spring break. Annoying. Their spring break's a week before mine. I mean, they're probably thrilled out of their mind, right? Because they're like, perfect, mom will leave us alone. Except for mom usually takes them places. So maybe I'll just leave since I have a whole week, right? Maybe I'll go back to the beach, baby. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? No, I think I'll go up to Pine Top. My mom's house is empty in Pine Top. Oh, it's another empty house. Yeah, I'm very spoiled. It's none of it's mine. I don't own any of it. I just use other people's stuff. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay. So yeah, there's a gap before 14 to 15.9. There's only one in that group, so that interval is an outlier. Let's talk for a minute about measures of central tendency. What do you think about that? Do you know what that means? Yeah, you know what the mean, median, and mode are? Yeah, someone tell me how to find any of those. I don't care which one. Tell me what they are, how to find them.
So for the mean, you take all of the numbers like 7, 12, 5, 22, 22, add them together, and then you'll divide by the amount of numbers. So it'll be 5.
Very nice. So the mean is the one that you've always done, right? It's the one called the average. Okay, so the mean is the average. Now, notice they're called measures of central tendency. What you're trying to describe, remember in our SOCS, S-O-C-S, so this was shape. We just talked about that. We talked a little bit about outliers. Now we're on this one, center, measures of center. So what these three things, the mean, median, and mode, are all trying to describe is they're trying to describe the center of the data. And depending on what your data looks like, sometimes the mean is a better descriptor, sometimes the median is a better descriptor, and very rarely the mode is the best descriptor, but the mode is very useful in a very specific circumstance, and we'll talk about what that circumstance is. So, but first, to find the mean, that's the one that's the average. And you're going to sum all these data points, 7 plus 12 plus 5 plus 22 plus 22, and you're going to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there's 5 of them. Everybody do that math and get it ready in the chat. Okay, do the math, get it ready in the chat. You can use Desmos Scientific Calculator. Anybody want that one in the chat? I hope you bookmarked that by now. All right, everybody got it ready? 3, 2, 1, go. AJ, you were ahead of your time. You did all of them. It's okay. Okay, so we should have gotten 13.6. I am a little concerned that someone got 13.5, and I'm concerned, Amari, that you got 50.4, and I'm trying to figure out how you got it, and I suspect I know. So I'm gonna try something and see. Yep, I know exactly what happened. Let me show you on my calculator so you can see it, because I know what happened, and you might not have made the mistake this time that Amari made, but you probably will make it at some point. So be very careful. If I do those numbers, let me find them. Okay, if I do 7 plus 12 plus 5 plus 22 plus 22, oops, darn it, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I just divide by 5. Even though it doesn't look like it on your calculator, this is what it's really doing. It's only dividing the 22 by 5. So that's how you get that 50.4. So to avoid that, and it'll look like you can tell it you mean for it to do that, but it doesn't understand unless you put parentheses around. So if I go back and I put parentheses and then I say 7 plus 12 plus 5 plus 22 plus 22 and end my parentheses, and then I divide it by 5. Do you see how now it's actually dividing the entire thing by 5? So Amari, thank you so much for doing that, because somebody else is going to do it on their homework and they're going to get super mad. So that's awesome that you did it here. So there are parentheses. Amari, what kind of calculator were you using? Were you using your phone or a scientific or a graphing? Okay, on your graphing calculator, there's also parentheses on there. Do you see them? They're right above your 8 and your 9. Yeah, so if you put those in, you'll be set. Okay, and Dom, do you see, did you just read your screen wrong, or did you put in a number wrong?
I just pushed the wrong button.
Okay.
I meant 13.5.
Okay.
I mean,
wait, you meant 13.6. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure. All right, so excellent. Good. So to find the mean, just be sure that you're saying, okay, I want to do all of the sum first and then divide. Otherwise, think about order of operations. Remember when we did that? It would do division before it would do addition. So that's why we have to put those parentheses on there. What does the median mean? Who knows what the median means?
The data that's in the middle.
Exactly. It's the data point that's in the middle, but only if it's ordered least to greatest. Okay, so first step is we have to order our data least to greatest. So we're going to go 5, 7, 12, 22, and 22. So now we still have 5 data points. Right here, this one is in the middle. So AJ was right. Our median is 12. Our mean was 13.6. So do you notice that our mean is higher than our median? Our mean is 13.6 and our median is only 12. Why do you think our mean is higher? Look at your data and tell me why you think your mean is higher.
Two of the same numbers.
Yeah, and they're really big numbers, right?
Yeah.
So we have these two 22s that are much larger than all the other numbers. So that's pulling our mean up. Okay, that's making our mean higher. Whereas our median, remember how we found it? We just marked off the ends until we got to the middle. So the fact that these are so much bigger doesn't even matter when you do the median. That brings up a very important point. When to use the mean versus when to use the median. When your data is very close together, the mean is the descriptor or the best measure of center. For example, Olympic 50 meters races, right? Have you ever watched that? The Olympics 50-meter races, yeah. So their data is super, super close together. The distance between them is so, so small. The time goes to like the thousandth, right? So whereas if you were measuring something else, test scores or something like that, your data would be much more spread out. That's when the median is most appropriate. Have you ever noticed that they tell you the median score on Canvas? They give you those statistics of your assignments. Yeah, and they don't report the mean, they report the median. And it's a smart thing to do because if somebody doesn't do their assignment, they'll get a 0. And if that's calculated in your mean, your average will be much, much lower than it really should be, right? Because if somebody just doesn't do it, it's not because they don't know the material, they just didn't do it. So that's why they measure with median. Okay, we have to bring up a different circumstance with median. What if the only reason we had a middle right here was because we had an odd number of data points, right? We had 5 data points. What if we had an even number of data points? So let's just pretend I have another set of data down here like this.
Would we divide by 2?
Yeah, well, what are we going to divide by 2, Valerie?
Like if we have 6 numbers, we would divide 3 and 4. Is that right?
Yeah, the third and fourth data point right here. So right here, I just made up an extra number in there. I added a 14 in my data set. So if I was finding the middle, it would be between these two. So I need to find the middle between 12 and 14. So I can do 12 plus 14 divided by 2, or I can just say I know the middle between 12 and 14 is 13, just FYI, right? 12 plus 14 is 26. 26 divided by 2 is 13. Or I could just say I know that 13 is in between 12 and 14, exactly halfway. Sometimes it'll be the same number. Sometimes those numbers will be much further apart. So make sure you know that if it's an even number of data points, you have to average the middle, okay, to find the median. Questions on that one? All right, so the mode, who knows what the mode is?
The largest minus the smallest.
Ooh, that's a great statistic. It's called the range. The range is
Oh,
the max
oh, yeah,
minus
yeah,
the min. Yeah, the range is the
yeah.
max minus the min, and we're going to do that soon. But the mode, any idea on the mode?
The mode is the number that occurs the most.
Very good. The mode is the number that occurs the most frequently in the data set. So in this case, there's two 22s, right? So the mode must be 22. Now, sometimes there's no mode, right? Sometimes every data point only occurs once. So you wouldn't say the mode is 0. You would say there is no mode. Sometimes there's two modes. Yeah, so you would call that bimodal. Okay, bi meaning two, just like a bicycle, right? So bimodal. You don't usually have more than two modes. So you have no mode, one mode, or two modes. Okay. Can anyone think of when the mode is a useful thing? When is the mode a useful measure? Because we talked about the mean is useful if your data is numerical and really close together. The median is helpful if you have numerical data, even if it includes outliers. But when is the mode most helpful? Any ideas? Think about real life. I have to let my cat out. One moment. Go, you think. Any ideas? When it's the most helpful, like with what type of data? Anyone like ice cream? Is there anyone in this room who likes ice cream, or in your room who likes ice cream? Yeah, a lot of us, right? Let's pretend you owned an ice cream store. Yeah, I know, wouldn't that be fun? I think I'd weigh 500 pounds if I owned an ice cream store. All right, so you own an ice cream store and you want to stay in business, right? Because COVID stinks and nobody goes out for ice cream anymore. I don't think that's true. I think people always eat ice cream, but your business is down. So what do you need to know as a store owner to get business? Let's say your favorite flavor of ice cream is anchovy surprise ice cream. Doesn't that sound great? Thanks for that, Faith. Yeah, it sounds terrible. What do you need to know as a store owner?
Like what's your consumers like the most? Like what's their favorite
Very nice.
product?
Exactly. Do you see how the mode would be very helpful then? First of all, how do I add up ice cream flavors and divide by how many ice cream flavors there are? That doesn't make any sense, right? Like what's chocolate chip cookie dough? An 8? I don't know, right? What's anchovy surprise? A 10? Like they're not numerical data. It's just categorical data. So with categorical data, the mode is the only one I can find, right? So, and it's very helpful. Anyone go shopping and look at the clearance racks at the store? Anyone do that? Yeah, the clearance racks are the best. Okay, Target needs some help with their clearance racks because I swear their buyer just orders the same number of every size. So on the clearance racks, you have extra, extra, extra small and extra, extra, extra large. There's never mediums on the clearance rack, right? But medium is probably the most common size. So if you're a buyer for a store, you shouldn't order the same amount in each size. You should know what your consumers are, right? Same with shoes. You ever look at the shoes on clearance? Yeah. If you have really big feet or really, really small feet, you can find a screaming deal on shoes, right? But if you have average size feet, you probably have to pay a little more because your shoes are never on clearance. So the mode is best with categorical data, right? When you're trying to figure out the most. You've done this in elementary school or in high school, or probably last week at a party or wherever you hang out with people. Before you order food, don't you go, okay, we're getting pizza. What kind of pizza does everybody like? Right? That's what you do. That's finding the mode of a data set, right? Okay, so questions on the mean, median, or mode? All right, so now I have a challenge for you. We'll see if you're up for it. This is data for you. There are 40 runners. Here is the data. So in week 1, oops, sorry.
Are you
In week
gonna
1,
share your screen or
you can't see my screen right now?
no?
You couldn't that whole time? Could you not that whole time, Valerie? Did you see me doing all of this?
I did not.
For pickle's sake, what is happening? Yes, that's my curse word, pickles. Yes, it's true. Valerie, thank you for telling me. That's so depressing. Look at all this work I did while you guys were sitting there. Yeah, it's true. So this was where I added the data point, right? What if we have 6? Can we find the middle? Yeah, there was the mode. Yeah. So welcome back thing. I don't know what was happening there. Sorry about that. It looks like I'm sharing the whole time to me. Just doesn't look like it to you. Okay. So here's my challenge to you. You surveyed 40 runners. Okay. Maybe you didn't, but you got this data. So this number of miles per week. So in other words, what I'm saying is 12 people in this survey said they only run 1 mile. Yes? Does that make sense? These 12 people say they run 1 mile a week, whereas these 12 people say they run 7 miles a week. Yes? So if you totaled all of these right here at the bottom, there's your 40 runners. Okay, there's your 40 runners. You have 40 data points. Yes? Everybody understand? Okay, what I want you to do is find the mean, median, and mode of this data set. It's a little bit trickier because it's in a frequency table. Yeah? So try that. Would you like me to put you in breakout rooms? That's what I'm going to do because there's not very many of you. I'm just going to put you in 2 breakout rooms and you can talk to each other. Okay? And you can work on this and confirm your answers. Okay? But first, I'm going to give you a chance to write down the table. Down the table, and then I'll open up our breakout rooms. Okay, does everybody have the data? You must because you're already working. Okay, I'm going to put you in your breakout room. You can talk to each other in just a minute, okay? Actually, I'm going to give you another minute to calculate because I feel like a lot of you are on a roll. I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to work and then I'll put you in your breakout rooms to compare. Okay, hope you're on your way or you're stuck. Either one, you need help from your group. Okay, so I'm going to put you, they're not in your real group, you're in crazy groups. So just 2 groups. So I'm going to open your rooms. I'll come visit you in a minute, but see if you have the same answer, the same strategy, if you're on your way, what you're doing. Okay. I think we have almost everybody back. All right, so I'm sharing screen. Both groups had a little bit of a flaw in the beginning or just a discrepancy on what they were doing. And the mistake that you guys made was you just added the frequencies and divided by 7. But Valerie was very good at catching that it said you have 4 runners. So if you know 40 runners, you must data points. Yeah, data values. And so you must be dividing by 3. So here is my solutions. I think you guys all got these, but a lot of you got after I reminded you. So make sure you're paying attention on Canvas on your Morrison if it gives you a frequency table, okay? Make sure you don't miss that. And notice that it will be miles per week on all of these, right? The units are still the same. So when we look at, we're finding the average number of miles these 40 respondents run per week. So their average miles is 4.15 miles per week. The median is 5 miles per week. And then the mode, we had 2 modes, this is a bimodal data set, 1 and 7 miles per week. So don't get tricked by that, okay? You can use a calculator. You have to be able to put it in. So you can put your data values, miles 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and then in list 2, you put your frequency, and then in your stats, you go to calc, you go variable statistics, and then you have to tell it to go to list 1 and then list 2. Where's my comma? There you go. And so if you like the calculator, you can do that and it'll run those stats. Do you see at the top it says 0.15 with an X with a bar over it? So the mean, and my MED is the median of 5. It doesn't give you the mode. You have to do the mode on your own. Mode is usually fairly easy. If you need help with calculators, I can help you. There's a calculator that you can use. It's our stats calculator, and I'll show you that one tomorrow. Okay. So, but I want to do real quick before you leave, we're going to do a team practice tomorrow in class that's due on Wednesday. You should finish it in class. You have more practice due by Wednesday night. You have a reading quiz and a mini lesson that are due by Tuesday and Wednesday. So make sure you do that reading quiz and then the mini lesson by Wednesday, and then your tutoring assignment is Friday. Okay, due by Friday. So any questions on the week? Your exit ticket's pretty quick. I don't think you'll have trouble with it. I just put it in the chat in case you're not using the QR code. Good job today. Thanks. Y'all are all say if you need anything.
Hi, everybody. Have a good day.